Hi, everybody. Sandy Kreisberg here. It's Fridays with Sandy. We've got a very exciting candidate, uh, Charon Reagan, if I'm pronouncing that right. Charon, why don't you say hi and tell folks where you're working now and what you're doing?
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. My name is Teron Reagan. I currently work at Deloitte, and I'm working in Deloitte's finance and enterprise performance consulting practice.
Yeah, so that's important. You're a consultant at Deloitte. You see, the Deloitte has consultants and they have auditors. And I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I am saying it on the record, but most people join as auditors and then try and, have I got this right? They join as auditors and then try and become consultants.
That's what most people want to do, but it's very difficult to actually do it.
And you did it.
Yep, I did it.
Well, how'd you do it?
I would say mainly through networking and having a clear reason why I wanted to make that change.
Good. So what we got here, let's get the bad news out of the way. We got a 2.99, almost made a 3.0 there. 2.99 at Kennesaw State. You don't have an idea of what your class standing was, but I got a feeling the 299 puts you kind of in the middle of the class or something, or that might be optimistic. Is that your sense of it?
Yeah, I would say maybe in the middle, but I could also see it being optimistic.
Okay, so let's call that a boo-boo. What's your explanation of that?
Yeah, so
Suppose you're being interviewed by a business school and they say, man, tell me why this 299, why we shouldn't be concerned about it.
I would say look at my transcript, and the story that I'll share now, it aligns directly with my transcript. When I was a second semester freshman in spring of 2016, my younger brother was in the hospital with brain damage, and I was going back and forth from the hospital every day, supporting my family and my grades. That was the first semester where my grades really took a dive. And I'm a first generation graduate. And throughout this entire journey, I put myself through college. I supported myself financially, and I hit hard times later in my college career. And I had a semester where I was homeless in Kennesaw. And the following semester, I started to get back on my feet. I started that semester working in a warehouse as a forklift operator, working full time and going to class at night. And I lived in a hotel the first month of that semester, and I managed to save up enough money to.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot of powerful information. You got to organize that. I'm not jiving you here, man. That's a powerful story. You just got to learn how to organize it, both for purposes of applying and for purposes, you've got to get that thing into a real show and tell thing.
Got it.
The advice we give is you don't want to sound scripted on your interview, but that part should be, if not scripted, highly well organized.
Got it.
If you get what I'm talking about, you really got to deliver that.
Got it.
Because it's powerful, and you also have to present it in your essay.
Got it.
What job would you want after business school? That's a common question.
Yeah, so I want to move into strategy consulting, specifically with McKinsey.
Yeah, I wouldn't mention strategy consulting is fine. I wouldn't present myself as having a boner for McKinsey. Like, why? From the school's point of view, you just say, I want to be a strategy consultant. I think a good place to start would be at a firm with a large general practice. That would firm like McKinsey, Boston, BCG, Bain. That way, you're looking at a wide open field. You haven't, fallen in love with McKinsey. Well, let's hear it. Why do you want to join McKinsey rather than BCG or Bain, or do you want to take that statement back?
I think you gave me great advice there. Take that statement back.
Okay, good. What's going to happen to you at Deloitte before you apply. Now, you're looking to apply not for admission this September, but for the year after that?
Correct.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen, or between now and then, which is over a year?
So one of my goals and one of the expectations is for me to get promoted to consultant by next May from analyst level. So I expect that to be one thing. And I expect to just continue working on finance strategy projects, controllership transformation specifically. And I expect to have done a lot more engagement with the Black and Allies team and actually have some real results.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good point. Let me start another column here and we'll hold off on that. You've got a lot of great extras. Tell me about 3 important leadership experiences that are on your resume and in your story.
Okay, so you said that are on my resume?
Well, I hope they are, if they're important.
Got it. Okay. I would say the most impactful one on my resume would be being a leader in the IIA Atlanta's mentoring program. And that really sparked, I guess, my love for mentorship. And I helped organize meetings over that whole year. I participated in meetings as a mentor and public speaker.
Yeah, okay, talk to me as if, I hadn't read your resume. You assume I know nothing.
Got it. Okay. So I guess 3 impactful things that I've done that I'm very proud of. One, I was a member of the IIA Atlanta Institute of Internal Auditors. They have a mentorship program where it's free for students to join and professionals can also join. I joined as a student, and when I graduated,
okay, let me interrupt here. What am I going to tell you?
What's that?
You got to get that story straight. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, it's okay. We're just us girls here, but when it comes to game time, you've got to be able to really both in your application, which is easier because it's written, but also in an interview, you got to be able to really have that in a very well organized, internalized way.
Got it.
You've got a lot of stuff going for you.
So would you say that my answers are kind of long-winded?
They're incomprehensible, to be honest with you.
Got it.
Particularly for someone who doesn't know your story.
Got it. Okay. And I'm a resilient guy, so I appreciate you for just being honest with me. That's what I was looking for.
You're welcome. Glad we met your expectations. Boy, I don't know what to do about the 299. You've got an explanation of that, both a real setback in the family, etc. I may have asked this, but it's worth going over since this is going to come up. Tell me why I shouldn't be concerned about the 299.
Well, if you look at my transcript, you'll see that my last 2 years in college, my GPA really climbed, and it was consistently above a 3.5 GPA, and my accounting GPA was a 3.75. I also graduated and I passed all 4 parts of the CPA exam within 5 months. So I think that shows my intellect.
Yeah, those are the CPA exam is something they trust. The fact that your grades went up is something they respect. I've said this many times. Schools look at GPA as your ability to sit still, absorb stuff, and spit it back. That's what they exist for. Those are traits they will never admit, but that they value above all others. Okay, sit still, swallow crap, and spit it back. That is their example of that. That's why they put a lot of faith in the GPA, because guess what? They're a school, and you'll get a GPA from them. So,
right, makes sense.
They kind of think it's a fair proxy for how you're going to do there. So if you got a low GPA, you really got to explain it.
Got it.
Uh, you got a lot going for you. You've got a lot of powerful leadership experiences in your industry. You're a leader in the underrepresented minority community. We haven't got a GMAT. How did you do on your SATs?
I think,
If you're going to go into the vault here.
yeah, it's been a while. I want to say I got a 1,500 or something.
Yeah, you got to remind me. Is that good?
I think it's about,
What I'm searching at here is, how do you do on standardized tests? What do you think
yeah, I think I do well on standardized tests. When I was in,
let me give you some tough love here, man. I wish John were here. I could toss this over to him. Let's say you took the GMAT and you got a 710. The question I would ask John is, should he take it again?
okay, yes,
You could make a case for that. I say this every week because it's true. A guy like you with a 710 and a guy like you with 730, man. The 730 would wipe out the 299. The 710 would say, yeah,
gotcha.
the schools are going to call me a liar, but in your case, there could be a real, no joke difference between a 710 and a 730. And this is also my advice. Take the GMAT 2 times, take it 3 times, take it as many times as they let you. All the schools want is the number. If you took it 4 times, they'd say, you know something? This is our kind of guy. He works super hard. He took it 4 times. He's really interested in going in presenting himself well. We view that as a positive, even though we don't encourage people to take it 4 times.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, drum roll, please. Schools, what's your first choice?
I would say Harvard.
Got Harvard, Wharton, Stanford here.
I would add Northwestern.
Yeah, that's a good ad, by the way. That's a Northwestern is a school that might be, I would call HBS, Wharton, and Stanford as a reach. The trouble is you're competing against guys like you, that is to say, underrepresented minorities, and they've got better stats.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're going to lose out to those guys, possibly. Although, how hard could your task is to get Deloitte really behind you. Your task is to develop recommenders that could, make a phone call. That's the ideal. Make a phone call and say, hey, I went to Harvard Business School. We hire a lot of your clowns. So just in terms of me getting a favor, I don't say this often, but this guy is really special. Okay, that's the dream, okay? Your job is to make a phone call like that happen, okay?
Got it.
I'll admit it might be impossible, but I just want to put you on the road to what you should be working at.
Got
You
it.
should be choosing recommenders. You should be developing recommenders. You should have a recommender adopt you, if you know what I mean.
Got it. Okay.
And then the guy, it would help if the guy's experienced in how to play the game. I assume partners at Deloitte are.
Got it.
So that's your job, along with continuing to do well there. I think if you can't do that, I think HBS, Wharton, and Stanford are going to be a small reach, even though you got a lot going for you. They'll take a guy like you with a better stat.
Gotcha. Okay.
Duke, Northwestern's a great choice. Because they're also Uh, they blink at more than most schools. Duke is a great choice, and Emory is a great choice. Let me tell you something. What job you want a job at a major consulting firm after business school?
Yeah, and I kind of grapple with the idea of possibly going through Deloitte's GSAT program and coming back to Deloitte just because of the amount of support that I have here in the relationships. But I would say, if not for
Okay,
that,
dude, I'm not familiar with that program. What is it? Let me guess. They'll pay for business school, and you got to give them 3 years or something.
2 years. Yep.
What's the downside of that?
I guess you have to kind of come back, and I feel like for me, I wouldn't get as much of an exposure to different things than what I've already kind of seen at Deloitte.
It's 2 years. You could apply, you could then come back, do 2 years at Deloitte, and spend those 2 years applying to other consulting firms. At that point, you'd be really in demand, particularly if you went to any top G7 business school or top 10 business school.
Got it.
Just
Okay.
just a thought, man.
Okay.
Schools might give you money. That's another thing to think of.
Okay.
Okay, you got any questions for me? You're in demand. I think your chances. Let me go through it. I think your chances at HBS, Wharton, and Stanford are like in the 20 to 30%. Like I said, there are guys like you with just better stats, and you might lose out to those guys. But if you could develop powerful recommendations and really make it happen through letters and phone calls, do that, man. I think the other schools are, in line. You should get interviewed. You should get into those schools.
Got it. Okay. And I guess
yeah, go ahead.
I was about to ask, I guess my question for you would be, so I actually have a mentor at Deloitte. He's actually one of the New York managing partners, and he went to Columbia. What do you think about a school like Columbia?
Your dreams can come true there, man. You go to New York, you meet a lot of people. You can come out of Columbia Business School and get a job at McKinsey. Thousands of people do.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'd think about that seriously.
Okay.
Particularly if that guy could get them to give you some money.
That would be nice.
Schools are known to do it. Okay, so that's your story, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
You got anything for me?
Man, I just want to say thank you for doing this. This is more helpful than I could imagine. So thank you.
Good. Happy to please. Okay, Tehran. Great talking to you. You're a likable guy. I think you're going to go far. Let us know how things work out. Okay.
I will, Sandy. Thank you.